My husband gave me a watch for our anniversary, but every time I wore it, I felt anxious and unwell. I decided to sell it. The pawn shop owner was horrified and said, "Where did you get this? Go to the police. This is serious." Before we continue, please write in the comments which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. On their wedding anniversary, Alexei presented Anna with a velvet box. Inside, nestled on a creamy silk cushion, was a vintage watch. Its ivory cold dial was framed by a delicate gold bezel, and the soft aged leather strap felt incredibly pleasant to the touch. "Happy anniversary, my love," Alexei whispered, his eyes glowing with genuine tenderness. He took the watch from the box and carefully fastened it on Anna's wrist. "I found it in an antique shop. It reminded me of you, elegant and timeless." Anna admired the gift. The watch was truly exquisite, exuding a sense of history and refined beauty. She thanked Alexei, hugged him, and kissed him. His thoughtfulness and care had always meant the world to her. Alexei knew how to make her feel special. That evening, Alexei was especially affectionate and attentive. He prepared her favorite dinner, roast duck with apples, lit candles, and played soft, romantic music. They reminisced about the early years of their marriage, laughed over funny memories, and made plans for the future. Anna felt happy and loved. It seemed to her that their bond only grew stronger with time. However, the first day Anna wore the watch to work, she felt unwell. At first, it was mild weakness and anxiety, as if an inexplicable unease was brewing deep inside her. Then came a slight headache and dizziness. Anna attributed it to fatigue and her demanding schedule at the university where she taught. It was exam season and she was likely just overworked. She thought trying to focus on her lecture. But the weakness persisted, growing stronger. She struggled to concentrate. Her words jumbled and black spots began flickering before her eyes. Anna felt an urgent need to sit down. After her classes, she returned home and immediately took off the watch. The moment it left her wrist, a soothing coolness spread through her body. The weakness gradually faded. Her mind cleared and the anxiety subsided. Anna was surprised. Could the watch really be the cause of her discomfort? She dismissed it as a coincidence. Tomorrow she'd wear it again and see what happened. The next day the pattern repeated. As soon as Anna put on the watch, her condition worsened. Weakness, dizziness, nausea. The symptoms returned with greater intensity. When she removed the watch, she felt significantly better. Anna began noticing other oddities. Where the watch's clasp touched her wrist, a slight redness appeared. The skin looked irritated, slightly inflamed. She told Alexei about her symptoms, but he brushed it off, saying she was imagining things. "Darling, you're too sensitive," he said, hugging her. "It's probably just an allergy to the metal. Don't worry about it. If it gets worse, we'll see a doctor." Anna felt Alexei wasn't taking her seriously. He often did this when she sensed something was wrong, telling her she was too emotional and prone to exaggeration. But Anna couldn't ignore her feelings. She sensed something was off with the watch. Her intuition urged her to be cautious. She began observing Alexei more closely. It seemed to her that his behavior had changed. He became more withdrawn, irritable, often stayed late at work, and whispered on the phone, stepping out onto the balcony. Anna tried talking to him, but he dodged her questions, citing exhaustion and work stress. She felt a growing wall of misunderstanding and distance between them. One evening, while Alexei was in the shower, Anna couldn't resist and checked his phone. She knew it was wrong, but she needed to confirm her suspicions. She quickly scrolled through his call logs and messages, but found nothing suspicious. Then she opened his email, and her eyes caught a single message from an unfamiliar address. It contained just a few words. "The watch is ready, awaiting payment." Anna felt a chill run through her. What did it mean? She quickly closed the email and turned off the phone, her heart pounding. She didn't know what to think. From that moment, Anna decided to start her own investigation. She had to uncover what Alexei was hiding and why the watch made her feel sick. She felt her life was in danger. Her first step was to confide in her friend Irina, a lawyer who always supported Anna in tough situations. Irina listened carefully and promised to help. "I think you need to have the watch examined," Irina said. "There could be a hidden defect or worse, something dangerous." Anna agreed. She knew she needed an expert to inspect the watch and provide a professional opinion. But who could she trust? Who could she tell about her suspicions? Irina, after listening intently, frowned. "Redness on your wrist, Anna. That's not a joke. Even if it's just a metal allergy, it's better to be safe. And your symptoms? It's too strange that they align with wearing the watch. Have it checked or just sell it, get rid of it." Anna nodded, feeling fear slowly grip her. Irina's words, backed by her own suspicions, became a heavy burden. "You're right, Irina. I'll take it to a pawn shop just to find out what's wrong." The next day, gathering her courage, Anna visited a small pawn shop on the city's outskirts. The place looked modest but trustworthy, with a sign reading, "Appraisal and purchase of watches and jewelry." She chose this pawn shop, hoping for confidentiality and professionalism. Inside it smelled of old wood and polish. Behind the counter stood a middle-aged man with thick gray eyebrows and attentive eyes. His name tag read Mikey Appraiser. Anna approached the counter, trying to hide her nervousness. "Hello," she said, her voice slightly trembling. "I'd like to have these appraised." She took the vintage watch from her bag and placed it on the counter. Mikhail picked up the watch, put on his glasses, and began examining it closely. He turned it over, studied it under a magnifying glass, and checked the mechanism. Anna watched him, holding her breath. After several minutes, Mikhail looked up, his expression shifting from focus to a strange, wary look. He cleared his throat as if gathering his thoughts. "These watches," he began, his voice low, "have been modified." Anna felt a chill run down her spine. "Modified? What do you mean?" Mikhail looked at her intently. "I've been working with watches for many years. These are vintage, valuable, but something's been added to them. Something bad." He picked up the watch again and pointed to the clasp. "See this tiny seam? Something's been soldered in very carefully, professionally, but it's not a factory part." Anna leaned in, trying to see what he was pointing at. She noticed a barely visible seam almost blending with the metal. "What could it be?" she asked, panic rising within her. Mikhail sighed. "I can't say for sure without an analysis, but I have suspicions. Very bad suspicions." He pulled a small tool from under the counter and carefully pried open the clasp. Inside was a tiny hair-thin capillary. Wearing gloves, Mikhail cautiously extracted it. "There's something here," he said, holding it up to the light. "Some kind of liquid, colorless, odorless, but I'm certain it's not water." Anna felt the world around her begin to blur. "What could it be?" she repeated, nausea rising in her throat. Mikhail looked her in the eyes. "I'm not an expert, but from my experience, this looks like a slow-acting poison. Something that would gradually worsen your health without leaving obvious traces." Anna staggered back from the counter. Poison in the watch. But who could? She stopped, recalling Alexis's strange behavior, his evasive answers, his debts. The pieces of the puzzle began forming a horrifying picture. "Have you been wearing this watch?" Mikhail asked, his voice full of concern. Anna nodded. "Yes, every day. It was a gift from my husband for our anniversary." Mikhail shook his head. "You need to go to the police immediately and trust no one. No one except the police, and perhaps your closest friends whom you trust with your life. Otherwise it might already be too late." He spoke quietly, but each word felt like a verdict. Anna stood frozen, unable to speak. Her mind swirled with fragments of thoughts, memories, and suspicions. Alexei, her husband, wanted to kill her. Why? Seeing her state, Mikhail poured her a glass of water. "Pull yourself together," he said. "You need to act now. Your safety is the priority." Anna took a few sips, trying to calm herself. What should I do? She asked, looking at Mail with hope. First, don't wear the watch anymore. Second, go to the police. Tell them everything you know. Show them the watch, the capillary. They'll conduct an analysis and determine what the substance is. Third, be careful. Don't tell anyone what you've learned, especially your husband. Anna nodded, feeling determination slowly return. Thank you, she said to Mikhail. Thank you so much. You've saved my life. Mail shook his head. I just did my job. Now it's up to you. Be strong and find the truth. Anna left the pawn shop feeling utterly drained. The world around her seemed foreign and hostile. The one person she trusted had become her enemy. Back home, Anna felt as if an icy shard had lodged in her mind. Mail's words and the warning about the poison echoed in her consciousness. Alexei, her Alexei, with whom she'd shared her life, dreams, and bed, could be behind this nightmare. She had to be sure. She couldn't let fear paralyze her. Pretending nothing was wrong, Anna tried to act normal. Alexei greeted her with a perfunctory smile, asking how her dress fitting went, the excuse she'd made up to explain her absence. She responded vaguely, citing fatigue, and hurried to the shower to wash away not just the city dust, but the sticky feeling of betrayal. After a tense, silent dinner, Anna excused herself to the study, claiming a headache. She needed to act. Knowing Alexei could walk in at any moment, she moved quickly and cautiously. First, she checked his computer. Alexei wasn't particularly careful with security, and his password, as she suspected, was simple. Their wedding date. At first glance, his email seemed innocent. Work correspondence, bills, greetings from colleagues. Digging into the archive, she found emails from someone named Svetlana. The messages dated over the past few months were clearly not professional. Alex, I miss you. When will we see each other again? Svetlana wrote. Soon, my dear. We just need to wait a little. Everything will be sorted out and we'll be together, Alexei replied. Anna felt her cheeks flush. Infidelity. It hurt, but it wasn't as terrifying as the realization that this affair might be part of a more monstrous plan. She copied the correspondence, careful not to miss a single detail. Next was his phone, which proved trickier. Alexei always kept it with him and ensured it was locked. Anna recalled once seeing him enter the password when he thought she was asleep. She tried to recreate the combination in her mind, and it worked. In the phone, she found more evidence of her fears. Beyond suggestive messages from Svetlana, there was a conversation with an unknown number discussing delicate matters and guarantees of complete anonymity. In one message, Alexei wrote, "The main thing is that it looks natural. No suspicions." Anna felt the ground slip from under her. It was too much, too many coincidences. Recalling Irina's advice, she decided to ask for help finding the jeweler who made the watch. The next day, Irina, using her connections, tracked down Elena Petrovna, the widow of a jeweler. The elderly woman lived in a small house on the city's outskirts. Anna, concealing her anxiety, told Elena Petrovna about the vintage watch and asked if her husband had ever made anything similar on commission. Elena Petrova was silent for a long time, absently fingering her prayer beads. "My husband made many custom pieces," she finally said in a quiet voice. But one order, it troubled him greatly. He was very secretive in the months before his death. He said he was being threatened. Anna held her breath. "What was the order?" she asked, trying to hide her agitation. "A watch," Elena Petrova replied. "Vintage watches that needed modification. The client insisted on a special clasp design. Said it was crucial. My husband refused for a long time, but then he agreed. He desperately needed the money." "Who was the client?" Anna asked. Elena Petrova shook her head. "He was very careful. He only said it was a very influential person." "How did he die?" Anna asked, trying to sound casual. A heart attack? Elena Petrovna answered suddenly. He never complained about his heart. Anna froze. The pieces were falling into place, forming a horrifying picture. Alexei, deaths, a mistress, a poisoned watch, the jeweler's death. Everything pointed to Anna being the victim of a meticulously planned crime. Back home, Anna felt cornered. She knew Alexei was watching her every move. She had to act decisively and quickly. Late that night, while Alexei slept, Anna retrieved a flash drive with the evidence she'd gathered. She stared at her husband's sleeping face, trying to understand how she could have been so wrong about him. How she missed the true face hidden behind a mask of love and care. She knew she needed help. She could no longer trust anyone except Irina. She called her and asked to meet urgently. "Ina, I need your help," Anna said, her voice trembling. When they met at a quiet cafe, "Alexei wants to kill me." Irina listened to Anna's story without interrupting. When Anna finished, Irina took her hand and squeezed it tightly. "We need to go to the police," Irina said. "You have evidence. We'll get justice." Anna nodded. She knew it was the only way. She couldn't live in fear any longer. She had to stop Alexei before he completed his monstrous plan. First, she made backups of all of Alexis's correspondence, emails with his mistress, discussions about debts, and strange internet searches about painless poisons and treatments for nervous disorders. Each file, each line would form part of the evidence. Anna felt like an archaeologist uncovering ancient ruins, except instead of artifacts, she was exposing deceit and horror. She reread Mail's report from the pawn shop. It clearly stated, "The vintage watch has been modified and contains a hidden mechanism with a slow-acting poison." Mail had attached magnified photos showing the microscopic capillary in the clasp. Anna knew this wasn't enough for a court case. She needed an independent analysis. Irina, as always, came through. She arranged a meeting with a toxicologist willing to analyze the substance in the watch. The 2 days of waiting felt like an eternity. Anna barely slept, constantly imagining possible scenarios. She feared Alexei would suspect something that he'd flee or worse, finish what he started. Finally, Irina called with news. The analysis confirmed the presence of a toxic substance in the watch. "It's thallium," Irina said, her voice grim. "A slow-acting poison that causes symptoms easily mistaken for common ailments. Prolonged exposure leads to severe nervous system damage and ultimately death." Anna felt a shiver run through her. Thallium. Everything fell into place. The dizziness, weakness, nausea, it wasn't random, but the result of cold-blooded poisoning. Alexei had planned her death, disguising it as natural. She recalled her conversation with the jeweler's widow, who mentioned the strange order, the urgency, the mysterious client who wouldn't reveal his name. Anna borrowed Irina's phone and called the widow. "Hello, this is Anna," she said, keeping her voice steady. "We spoke about the vintage watch order." "Yes, I remember," the widow replied, her voice tinged with unease. "I need your help. I need you to confirm to the police that Alexei placed that order." "Good Lord," the widow whispered. "I suspected as much. He came to me the day after we spoke, offering money to keep quiet." "Thank you," Anna said. "Your testimony is crucial." With all the evidence gathered, correspondence, the toxicology report, the widow's testimony, Anna decided it was time to act. She called the police and requested a meeting with an investigator. The meeting took place the next day. Anna sat in the office of Captain Petro, the investigator, and told her story. Petro listened attentively, occasionally asking clarifying questions. He looked tired, but professional, and Anna felt she could trust him. She laid out all her evidence on the table. Photos of the watch, the toxicology report, printed emails, the widow's statement. Petrov studied each document carefully. "These are serious accusations, Anna," he said when he finished. "We'll need strong evidence to arrest your husband." "I have everything," Anna replied, looking him in the eyes. "I know he tried to kill me, and I'm ready to prove it." Petrov nodded. We'll investigate. If it checks out, we'll take action. The next few hours dragged on like a slow-motion film. Anna waited for news, glued to her phone. She feared Alex would do something, that he'd escape or destroy evidence. Finally, around 6 p.m., the phone rang. It was Petro. Anna, we've detained your husband, he said. He's in custody. Come to the station. We need your statement. Anna felt a wave of relief wash over her. It was over. She was safe. At the police station, Anna gave a detailed statement. She recounted everything she knew about the watch, her symptoms, Alexis's debts, his mistress, and the jeweler's order. She answered the investigators' questions calmly and confidently. Meanwhile, Alexei denied all charges. He claimed the watch was just a gift, that he knew nothing about any poison, that he loved Anna and would never harm her. He said she was delusional, that she'd made it all up. But the evidence was undeniable. The toxicology report confirmed the poison in the watch. The correspondence with his mistress and his debts provided a motive. The widow's testimony confirmed Alexei had ordered the watch. A few days later, Alexei was charged with attempted murder. He was arrested and placed in a detention facility. The investigation continued. The police uncovered that Alexei had long been involved in fraud and had ties to criminal networks. It turned out he was drowning in debt and planned to collect insurance money after Anna's death. They also discovered that the jeweler's death wasn't accidental. Alexei was involved in his murder to cover up the poisoned watch order. Anna learned this from the news. Sitting in her apartment watching the TV screen, she felt a surge of anger and disgust. She couldn't believe she'd lived alongside such a monster. After everything she'd been through, Anna took a long time to recover. She sought help from a psychologist to cope with the trauma. She changed her apartment, job, and social circle. She wanted a fresh start. A year later, Alexis's trial took place. He was found guilty of all charges and sentenced to a lengthy prison term. Anna didn't attend the trial. She didn't want to see Alexei or waste her energy and emotions on him. She just wanted to forget him forever. After the trial, Anna bought herself a new watch. Not vintage, but modern, stylish, and reliable. When she put it on her wrist, she felt a new life awakening within her. This watch was a symbol that her time now belonged only to her. She was free. She had survived. And